and welcome back, my little blue bunnies, to another Sims Sundays. Please forgive me for getting the edited version out late, but this took a lot longer than the last episode to put together. I hope you're all doing well and are looking forward to seeing Blue grow from this sad little grey box to a much homier build. Since Blue has finally gotten herself a painting aisle, we don't have to continue with the photography skill anymore. Instead, we started off by getting her to make small classical paintings to start bringing in bigger paychecks, before we quickly got rid of the quests on the top left-hand corner, as we are not interested in any outside help. After a few rounds of paintings, we eventually stopped to have a quick snack and a bathroom break, but not long after using the sink to wash our hands, the sink gave out on us yet again, meaning we had to fix it before we continued making more paintings. Otherwise, Blue wouldn't have a place to wash away her awful stench. Blue got some sleep after that, washed up in the sink and cleaned up a little before we finally entered build mode for the first time this video to perform our first expansion and give Blue the gift of literature. She had started to experience a little creative fog, which would only hinder the progression of her painting skills, which means less money. So after buying Blue the first handiness book titled Fix It, she sits down to read it for the very first time, giving herself a much-deserved break after all the paintings that she had made and sold so far. This successfully got rid of the creative fog, and it was back to creating and selling more paintings before having a snack. Oh look, we leveled up the painting skill. One more level and she can move on from small to medium-sized paintings, meaning she can make even more money for her bank account. Finally, we are able to add a shower to this depressing little room, though I didn't like where the shower was sitting, so I moved the bathroom items around a little until I was happy with their placement. I didn't even have to ask Blue to get in the shower. As soon as we stepped out of build mode, she was more than eager to have her first ever shower. Unfortunately, the shower didn't leave Blue with enough money to start another painting, so to her dismay, we had to take and sell a few more photos before she could continue the activity she actually liked. And look at that! She reached level 5 at the painting skill, meaning that she could move on from small to medium-sized paintings. Blue takes another full night of rest before waking up to have her breakfast and sell off larger paintings for larger payouts. She also surprised me by pulling out a large canvas after we sold her latest piece, but I didn't stop her. Gotta let the girl do what she wants every once in a while or she'll go mad. She created this cute pink bunny that got us a neat sum of money before we went and expanded the room yet again. But we didn't just expand the wall, we were going to treat Blue to her own outdoor space. One where she can enjoy the fresh air and maybe even garden in the future. We even had enough money left over for one more expansion to separate the bathroom from the bed. I then tried to create a wall to separate the bathroom from the living area, but we unfortunately ran out of money, meaning our little mascot had to go back to selling photos in order to keep going with her painting skill. We got a little shock after that though. Blue was sick. I had no idea how, as the girl has never set foot outside before and hasn't met another person either. But we didn't stand around and question it much, just bought her a bottle of medicine and made her drink it before she got back to work. It was not long before that we finally finished separating the bathroom from the living space with more walls and added a door so Blue could use her toilet without stinking up her sleeping area. We also thought of adding another room, but funds ran out rather quickly, so we were forced to take a few more photos in order to continue painting to put money in the bank. We were also asked if Blue should embrace the gluttony trait, but I know we said that we were going to say yes to anything that pops up, but I hate the idea of Blue becoming a slob or a glutton, so I did deny the personality change. We entered build mode once again and added 4 more expansions for a separate room that I had plans for, but more funds were needed in order to carry out the idea I had in my head. So after a long sleep, Blue enjoyed her new bathroom before going back into painting to make the idea a reality. After some more quality works from Blue, we were able to split the added room into 2 and added some doors before leaving a single lonely countertop. in the room that would eventually become our kitchen. We then went back to painting in order to build a kitchen that we would need in order to have some real food in our diet, and then leveled up the painting skill yet again. One more level up and we can move to large paintings. And we all know what large paintings mean. After some more hard work, we were able to purchase yet another countertop and an oven before we ran dry of money yet again, forcing us to sell a few pictures to fund a canvas to get us back on track. Unfortunately, Blue was reunited with Creative Block right after this, forcing us to take a break from our creative activity and read a book. I purchased a vegetable seed pack for Blue when she was asleep, as New Skill Day was supposed to pop up, but for some reason the holiday never actually started for me, so the gardening skill I was going to make her do never came to a start. Upsetting, but it didn't really affect us too much. We just continued to read our handiness book until we reached level 2. I then made Blue do some actual handiness by making the sink faucet sturdy, read the book a little more, and then continued to paint when the creative fog finally disappeared. When the cash finally hit our bank account again, we spent it on 2 more countertops and a fridge before moving my bed into an empty room and moving all the rest of the items Blue owned. From there, I decided that every 1,000 simoleons I would stop, go to one room, sell the stuff inside, and make a much homier environment. Blue was no longer going to live in a boring grey cell. That was a promise. She sold some more photos in order to fund yet another canvas and started the process of gaining more money for her home makeover. We even leveled up yet again on the painting skill, meaning that we were able to start making larger paintings, which she started almost immediately. This made it much easier for us to get 1,000 simoleons to start the home renovations. We went back into build mode and sold off the items in the bathroom to start. We added some tiles to the walls and floor from the Growing Together pack before attaching lamps to the walls, so Blue could actually see what she was doing at night. We ended up purchasing the same toilet, sink, and shower as before, given that the other options were way too expensive. We then added a mirror, toothbrush holder, toilet roll holder, soap pump, and towel rack, all before adding a window to let in some natural lighting. Blue then was permitted to learn how to make some real food before painting yet again to start the renovations on her bedroom. She even made her first masterpiece, which I allowed her to keep. Oh look, another masterpiece. Well, that's lovely, we really need to be selling these. Atta girl. After that painting was sold, we finally were able to fix the bedroom. We sold off the current bed, grabbed some wallpaper and floorboards from the paranormal pack before adding a lovely white bed, bedside table, plant, and light before selling the snack bag from the kitchen in order to pay for a lovely set of drawers. Adding a window, because who doesn't like a little sunlight? After taking a well-deserved shower, Blue takes a few more photos to continue building her painting skill, only to find that she had completely maxed out her photography skill. Good for her! She keeps on selling her paintings until she reaches level 9 of the painting skill and having a well-earned nap. When she finally sold her recent painting, we got stuck into making the kitchen feel more homey. First, we got rid of the countertops and tried to use the ones from the Realm of Magic pack, but they were way too expensive and we couldn't afford the matching stove or fridge either. So we resold them and bought the countertops from the Cottage Living pack. We purchased the matching sink, oven, and fridge before adding wallpaper and floorboards from the same pack. Some lighting and a window was added, all before adding 2 hanging cabinets that drained our bank account completely. We made another painting before coming back to add 1 more hanging cabinet and an exhaust fan. We then went back to paint, oh, look, a masterpiece, before going back to selling more paintings to buy a trash can that pays you for feeding it. After putting a couple thousand simoleons back in the bank, I decided to add a hallway to the outside of the house so that we could add more rooms in the future. We then added an archway so we could actually enter the hall, sold and removed items from the room we had been living in for the past couple of days, added wallpaper, floorboards, lighting, and a window before putting everything back. Though our masterpieces went out into the hall as the walls there were a lot bigger. I then added a hanging bookshelf to an empty wall, but the one I chose didn't sit right with me, so I changed it before moving our commemorative photo to the bedroom. We expanded the garden, added some wallpaper and lighting to our brand new hallway, and spent the rest of our money on adding a new room to the build. This was very exciting for Blue. She sold just a few more photos to continue painting, and this is where we started to focus on finishing off her painting skill. We weren't going to stop until she had it done. She even gained a few more masterpieces for her collection along the way, and there it is. The painting skill is maxed out, meaning in the next video, Blue would need a new hobby to monetize. Blue woke up the next morning to the smell of her own pit, so before the day could even begin, she used the toilet and shower, only for the shower command to cancel for some reason. Not to worry, she took a shower right after selling this painting. Back in build mode, we finished placing the new room and added a little more hallway before placing more wallpaper and flooring to the hall and spacing out the lighting. We added some wallpaper and flooring from the Paranormal pack to what would become our hobby room, and added an arched doorway before moving the painting aisle into the room, along with a new desk, computer, chair, cross-stitching box, and rocking chair. We could only afford one light for now, but the rest of the money went to wall coverings on the outside of the box prison. When that was all said and done, it was time to wrap up the video. We took our commemorative photo and placed it on our new chest of drawers along with the old one before admiring our handiwork. Just look at how far we have come. We went from this tiny one square to a small box to 5 bedrooms, a hallway, and a garden. This is a massive achievement. I think as a reward, we would allow Blue to get a pet next episode. Thank you very much, my little blue bunnies, for joining me today. This video was extra long as I have been looking forward to this all week. Please subscribe if you have not already. Join our Discord, the link will be in the description, and we will see you very shortly in future live streams. Bye bye!